Weeks after the deadly terrorist attacks in Israel and the capture of around 240 hostages, there is word tonight about two of those captives, an elderly woman and a young boy, seen in a video released by the Palestinian group Islamic Jihad. But Israel's president tells NBC News in an exclusive interview that Hamas, which holds most of the hostages, has made no move toward a broad release of those being held. This comes as the White House says Israel will establish 4-hour humanitarian pauses each day in Gaza so more people can escape the fighting, but not a full ceasefire. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have fled to the southern part of Gaza in recent days as Israel carries out its ground and air offensive. We begin tonight with NBC's Keir Simmons in Tel Aviv. And Keir, you have seen the video of the hostages.
I have, Lester. They do show two of those hostages taken on October 7th. We've chosen not to show them at the request of the family, but they do tell us something important. They are alive. 77-year-old Hannah Katzir, who's in a wheelchair, and a young boy, Yagil Yaakov. That's the message tonight from the hostage takers holding them inside Gaza, claiming they're ready to release them. And despite fierce fighting in northern Gaza, the White House says Israel has agreed to implement daily 4-hour pauses there, limited in time and area, and not a ceasefire, Israel says. Already this week, humanitarian corridors have seen tens of thousands of Palestinians forced to flee to southern Gaza, and there has been intense pressure from President Biden.
Did you ask for a 3-day pause to Netanyahu?
You know, I've been asking for a pause for a lot more than 3 days.
Raising hopes of a hostage breakthrough, two officials with knowledge of the visit tell NBC News that both the CIA director and the director of Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad, were in Qatar today to work through details of a potential hostage release.
It's the feeling of abandonment, you know, from your own government.
Hostage Vivian Silva's son has no news of his mother, a 74-year-old peace activist. He spoke to us before tonight's developments.
In order to get them back, we need words, not guns. You know, anytime there is noise about release, I'm happy. It puts me on the edge, but I'm also happy.
Mr. President,
this morning, Israel's president told NBC's Ralph Sanchez there's no substantial offer from Hamas to release hostages, even while Israel says it will allow more aid into Gaza.
We agreed also on major upgrade of the humanitarian aid to Gaza.
But aid to Gaza passes through the Rafah crossing, and this was Rafah today, in the supposedly safer south. Ala Ashur lost 6 family members in this air raid. Please find one for me, she begs rescuers. Just one.
And Keir, I know there's been late word from Israel about strikes inside Lebanon. What can you tell us?
That's right, Lester. The Israeli Defense Force says it has struck Hezbollah infrastructure inside Lebanon in response to launches from there.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.